Cool people doing cool shit. Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
And the firewalks, I find there's 3 parts to them. So there's a listening, and that's where we talk about our intuition. And then there's a leaning in. Like when we listen to our intuition, we might hear something that we don't necessarily want to hear. Or if we find an obstacle in our life, that are really large and really cause us pause or, disturbance, I find that I try to avoid that. And when I try to avoid it, it just gets worse or it gets bigger, right? And so the second part is leaning in. Lean into that, right? So we might hear something or know something or realize something that is really just sucks, for lack of a better term. But leaning into it is the only way to get through it, right? And then the last part of it is letting go. Because once you lean in and it's really you're in it, then you let go and then you find yourself on the other side. So the firewalk it can be a metaphor for life. Here's the fire. Here's the thing that's in your way. There's the goal on the other side. What do you need to do to get there? And so I'm very lucky in that I get to watch transformation every time we put a firewalk together. And then there's other exercises that happen too to kind of get us into the space. It culminates in the firewalk. We're not, boom, walking on fire, show up and say, okay, here's the firewalk, kind of thing. So there's that too.
I really respond to the way you described your method. The way you described the process sounds like that would have been, for me, like the ultimate cleanse that I needed in the last couple of months. I have struggled with depression and anxiety for 9 years, never having that issue previous. In the last part of last year, like I could tell like something was changing, shifting for the better, and that was great. And I started to act as though that were the case. Unfortunately, it cost me a relationship, but that I cherish deeply. But a few weeks ago, I fell as low as you possibly can go, as low as I've been in 9 years, without being a danger to myself. But that was the only silver lining, is that we don't have to worry about him. But holy shit, that's bad.
Yeah.
And I was almost non-functional, but I didn't try to push it away. I did lean into it. And on my way back out, looked at it as a really backhanded blessing, because I think I needed to go that low because there was still some muck in the corners of the bucket down there that hadn't gotten accessed yet. And I needed to puke those out. And I needed to kill off that version of myself. And the craziest part about it is, like most people with depression and anxiety, I found a really effective way of self-medicating. And as I was coming out of that, I was like, well, that has to go away too. And it wasn't like, you can't drink anymore or you shouldn't smoke anymore, because then that's a willpower thing that we all know the statistics on willpower.
Yeah.
I came out of that feeling like, well, I don't need that medicine any more than I would be taking ibuprofen for a non-existent headache. There are moments like yesterday I was feeling pretty high anxiety and sort of wished that I had my usual stuff available to me, but recognized that and didn't try to run away from it. I was just like, well, this is going to suck for a while. Yeah. And didn't go to the gas station or whatever. And it passed.
Yeah.
And God damn it, like, why didn't I think of that for 9 years? Like, just let it be and it'll pass. Instead, I was like, oh, no way. Yeah. I ain't feeling this.
Yeah.
And then you numb it out a little bit. even, just like I was never out of control, but I need to take the edge off.
Mm-hmm.
And then, surprise, surprise, the medicine I was using is what was keeping me depressed and anxious
Yeah.
until I put more of it into my system, so I didn't notice the depression and anxiety. Repeat, repeat, repeat.
Right. More and more
Yeah.
and more. Slippery slope. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
With me.
And so, anyway, I didn't mean to go on a thing about me.
No, but
But
what?
the metaphor of the firewalk
Yeah.
dovetails perfectly into what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Because not only leaning in, being in the moment, but also I think that if we were doing an actual firewalk today, if I were to walk across the coals, the guy on that end of the coals isn't the same guy that was over here, and this guy isn't coming home with me.
No. Yeah.